a slow-motion environmental disaster as an oil spill of hundreds of square miles makes its way towards the U.S. shoreline in the Gulf of Mexico.
But first, the disaster here in the Gulf and what's at stake for the environment as the oil begins to touch land.
Unfortunately, it's the worst possible scenario now for wildlife here in this area. Plus, the full moon high tides are bringing the oil in. Plus, it's nesting season, spawning season, and migratory season, meaning tens of thousands more birds will be flying in here over the next 2 weeks.
In 2010, I went down to the Gulf to see how I could help with the oil spill. I took a small crew to document what we saw and heard with photos and videos to share with the world. I was haunted by what I experienced and wanted to learn more. I spoke with scientists, researchers, and policy experts who had experience with the spill to figure out how we could prevent this from happening again.
We had a team at the Oil Spill Commission that looked at the well that was being drilled very, very intensely. It was almost an accident that was going to happen. People who try to picture that as just a one-time only accident, I think, have not looked closely at the situation.
I think our first big discovery was the plumes. The fact that a large portion of the hydrocarbons emitted from the wellhead were not making it to the surface, but were staying underwater.
What happened down in the Gulf was a major environmental disaster, but it affected much more than the environment. People were affected, and their lives were turned upside down. When I visited the coast a year later, I heard stories about how some kids are still struggling. Their lives are different now, and the problem hasn't gone away.
I think what sometimes gets lost in the shuffle is that this is also a way of life. These people are connected to their environment. Their environment is really a part of the fabric of their community, and that fabric has been threatened.
I knew something had to be done, so when I heard from Devin and Devin, who said they wanted to help out with the oil spill, I saw an opportunity to engage a young, active generation of kids. The Devons have mobilized an army of other kids from every corner of the globe that are working together to create positive changes in the world. It's clear to me now that to fix big problems like oil dependence and energy security, kids are going to be the ones to lead the way and usher in a better future for us all.
Devin, at 7 years old, sent us her tooth fairy money. Said she wanted to change the world, but she knew she didn't have a voice. So ISF said, we'll give you a voice. We want to hear what your voice is. And all of a sudden, these voices are now this chorus.
Kids have been part of a lot of solutions already. The recycling movement was mostly stimulated by education programs in schools. I do think that the kids can turn this around and are already playing a role.
So the next generation is going to have to do a better job than my generation has done in recognizing and admitting to the problems that exist and developing some creative strategies on how to make a better world.
I can't believe how many emails I got from kids that were, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old when the oil spill was happening. That was one of the things that really shocked me. These kids care, and they're paying attention. They want to do something, and I think that's fantastic. It gives me hope for the future.
So help us take Devin and Devin on a journey of discovery to the Gulf Coast, where they will learn about what happened during the oil spill and how the impacts are still being felt today. They will connect with kids just like them who are still affected by the spill and share their stories with the world while learning about cleaner and safer ways of powering our future.